Hello and welcome back to week 3 of the Hearthstone Global Games. I'm Falcone, joined once again by Lorinda, and this is the game that we have been waiting for today. This is the big one.
Germany versus the Philippines. We're supposed to introduce Germany, but I feel like they require no introduction.
Super JJ, a life coach, Viper and Camelin. That is a team that you like to have.
That is a pretty decent Hearthstone team. Life coach and Super JJ, obviously two long-term stalwarts of the game. Camelin, incredibly solid player, long-time streamer, and Viper, who picked up a casual 32 HCT points in winter alone. Over
on the Philippines side, we've got Waning Moon, Karakute, Chalk, and Stars. 4 great players.
Yeah, 4 very, very good players. Waning Moon is currently in the top 8. They've just reached the top 8 stage of the Tokyo, so the Japan major, which means he will be playing in the top 8 there. He did take responsibility for last week's mistake, by the way, from the Philippines, so good that he has already redeemed himself as we see yet more beautiful shots of beautiful countries.
Stars was a champion at WESG 2017 in China.
Yeah, but that was only 150,000 first prize.
Oh, is that it? Oh, never mind.
So forget that.
Forget that I said that. I feel silly for bringing it up. And Chalk was second place at 2015 HWC.
Yeah, and he's a deck builder. He's done various decks over the period of Hearthstone that people have ended up using. Karakute came 9th in the global in the APAC qualifier for the globals.
And as I have been told by Gia, I had a conversation with Gia about the Philippine team. Obviously, someone who's very, very up to date with the scene. One thing she did stress to me is that Karakute has a very cute, I think she said 11-year-old.
Yeah, I knew about this because there's a video somewhere on Facebook with Karakute on, and
9-year-old. I'm sorry, 9-year-old.
You're probably going to tell the story about the food.
No, go ahead.
Basically, Karakute has to go out and play Hearthstone late sometimes, and her daughter doesn't mind because if Karakute wins a lot of money playing Hearthstone, then they can have infinite food.
No, I didn't know that story, but infinite food is always very good. I wouldn't mind infinite food.
So yeah, she came 9th in the APAC regional as well in the playoffs. So 1 place off just on tiebreakers from going, to that top 8 knockout stage where she could have just progressed, missed out narrowly on tiebreakers. And we're going to see a lot more of her. Hence, just keep saying that the Philippines are rather a good team, and I suspect underrated by many, many people. I've been saying that APAC are an up-and-coming region. Philippines are basically there, just haven't got the recognition yet.
Right, and Germany are definitely there. Germany have the recognition.
Germany are quite good at Hearthstone.
If that's what we're saying, if we're talking about recognition, you don't really get much higher than Germany. I mean, Germany, USA, Russia, these are the teams that have the big names on them.
Yeah, I mean, when you were voting for who you picked, you could have had 27 teams. You could have had a Germany A, B, and C set of votes.
You actually could have had.
It's just so ridiculous. There's so many players on those 9 that weren't even mentioned that are terrific long-term big names in Hearthstone. I'm not going to name them all, but you can Google them. There's plenty of them.
German players who are wishing they lived anywhere else because in any other country, they'd have been a sure pick for HGG.
Yeah, absolutely incredible that that nation is so strong, but it's only the top 4 that matter, so it's no point being deep. You just need 4 strong players, but they have that.
All right. Viper sitting in on his own there. Going to point out straight away, he's not really on his own because he's got a headset on, and on his headset he will have his teammates communicating with him.
Via Tiger.
Right.
And the Philippines, there's at least 3 of the Philippines players in the room, possibly all 4. It's hard to see from there. And they look all ready to go. And I think it's great that a lot of these teams are making the effort to get into the second room.
Well, I think Philippines is one of these teams where they've got a very awesome scene, a lot of fireside gatherings and things. Oh, look at this. We have some TJ facts up for the first time
Morning,
today.
TJ. Nice of you to join us. Waning Moon has 9 top 100 legend finishes, is one of the things to pull out there. And obviously Viper was top 10 in all of Europe for HCT points, and 32 is a silly number of points.
Yeah, of course. Viper coming in as the anchor, I believe, for Team Germany.
And TJ reached the same conclusion as us, which is turns out that Germany is pretty good at Hearthstone.
They are okay. There's a few tens of players that are very, very, very good at Hearthstone. A few tens of players. Yeah, okay. A few tens. Waning Moon versus Viper. We were shown the decks a moment ago. I'm afraid I didn't.
I was too astounded by seeing TJ's facts.
There we go.
It's going to be Hunter from the Philippines and Rogue from Germany.
So I want to say gut instinct. pretty good matchup for the Hunter.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it, no matter what sort of rogue. If it's Miracle Rogue, obviously the Miracle Rogue performs better than the Cavern Rogue.
Yes.
But the old meme of Savannah Highmane facing off against Sap doesn't seem to be quite the same thing anymore. Hunter has more aggressive starts than it used to, and Sap is still fantastic cub. It's just a little bit slower than it used to be somehow.
Yeah. So Miracle Rogue does some weird things against aggro nowadays, because its matchup against Pirate Warrior is actually fine because of hallucination and other weird tools that it got. Though I won't talk about Miracle Rogue anymore right this second, as the matchup is worse for the Rogue than we thought.
Yes, it has that Caverns Rogue versus a very good draw Hunter.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the opening hand you want as a Hunter. 1-drop into 2-drop, which it also happens to be Crackling Razormaw.
Yep.
One of the
which is an interesting decision sometimes, because Crackling Razormaw on your Macaw is something you feel obliged to do to keep your curve going. But having a 1/4 or 1/1 with poison against a deck full of 1 health minions isn't that exciting.
It's a weird card, because Mid-Range Hunter is so aggressive. Like, if you can, you have to play on curve. Feels bad when you're not buffing anything with the Razormaw. But the reason it's such an interesting card is because then in the late game, if you can stick it on a Savannah Highmane that's already on the board and grab Wind Fury, you're pretty much giving yourself a free win.
Yeah, and it helps a little bit to have the Alley Cat as well. So if you do end up buffing something, at least it's going to stick as a 1/4. I hope you like the right cat, by the way.
Of course.
Good.
The
Okay.
Tabby Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct choice that Raven doesn't make.
Oh, Raven. Okay.
We thought you knew Hunter Raven, but if you don't even know the cats.
Well, clearly there's something not quite working there. Anyways, there he is. Anyways, right, Alley Cat comes down on turn 1. It's obviously just a bigger board presence, better against the Rogue, sticking in more damage early, especially if Rogue is using up its first turn to play the quest.
Yeah, and Backstab's still in this version, obviously. Some versions just eliminated every single card that does anything apart from does the quest now, but sensible people are still actually playing some removal.
Yeah, I love how much this deck has changed, how many evolutions it's gone through. There was like the day where Vanish appeared, and then Wisps started appearing, and then Fireflies replaced Swashbucklers, and all removal was removed from it and replaced with Igneous. Igneous was always in it. But there's been so many evolutions of this deck.
Yeah, purists are going to hate me for this, but it reminds me of Patron Warrior.
Sure, yeah.
In that people aren't quite sure exactly how to build it. They weren't for Patron for months. It went through an aggressive stage, and it went into a controlling phase, and it ended up eventually with the iteration we all remember well. But this is doing the same thing. They're not quite sure exactly what you want this deck to do, other than hit people with 5/5s really hard.
What I do know is that this is a very tough turn for Team Germany. I think Firefly probably comes down. It's not important to play the quest before you play Firefly.
Right.
As when you're completing the quest, you usually do it with Flame Elementals rather than the Firefly himself. Though it looks like Viper doesn't feel too under pressure, and he's just going to go ahead and do nothing.
I get the impression he spent the whole turn wondering whether he could do something different because it looked good, and then when you go through that thought process, it is usually correct to default to the thing that is obvious, which is play the quest, move on. If you try and be too clever and you can't prove to yourself that being clever is the right move, go for the obvious thing, because it's never very wrong.
Right.
You know, Firefly was the right move there. It was probably a close call. He couldn't prove it to himself in time, or the team couldn't. So he went with the obvious thing. And as it happens, if he played the Firefly, the Hyena would have been pretty grim.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. It would have just, I guess, poisonous it away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best that it would have been anyway.
And now, I think +3 health is interesting, as is Wind Fury. As is everything, but +3 health is going to deal with any 1 health minions that are played.
Oh, right, I'm with you. The Hyena would have been disgusting.
Yeah, sorry, the Hyena would have been disgusting because
Somehow missed that
both 1/1s
entirely.
would have gone to the Firefly, the Hyena would have become 6/4 or whatever it would become.
Sorry about that. So, things aren't looking any better for Germany now, though. Backstab, sure, can get rid of the
Right.
Crackling Razormaw. A Dagger Up, maybe, to get rid of the Alley Cat.
I mean, they're not that far from completing the quest. When we say they're not looking good for them, they're only 1 bounce away from completing the quest.
Right.
So
That's
how
really
ridiculous
scary
this
when you
deck
think
is.
about it. Yeah, because they haven't actually started progressing the quest yet.
Right.
So the fact that they're very close to completing it is terrifying, and that could just be what takes the game away for Viper later on in this match. In this game, because they did so early.
Right.
They just need Shadow Step number 2 would be perfect, and then prep out the quest.
Not sure what he knows what to do here, though, in terms of slowing down the beating, because he needs to complete the quest, but he also needs to not die in the process. Yeah, he's going to leave nothing on the board, or nothing small. This works out well. This means that the minions can't trade into the Ferryman and kill it this way around, which again is playing around Hyena pretty strongly.
Yeah, this time Hyena is not looking anywhere near as bad as it would have been played last turn. In fact, it's not an easy turn for Waning Moon here.
It's really not.
Do you waste the kill command?
Don't think so. I feel like you play the Macaw and see where you're at, and then make a decision whether you want to play Fiery Battle, or whether you just want to press the magic button.
Hold on a moment, though. Scavenging Hyena, which is going to get buffed once. Obviously, the Tabby Cat can't actually die this turn, but it's still awkward for Viper to get rid of this Scavenging Hyena. He'd have to trade and also use his dagger. Or trade and use the Stone Tusk Ball.
Sure, which is another minion that then can't be used. Well, it can be used again because you've got 2 in your deck, but another minion that will be difficult to deal with in terms of making the quest happen. And this is where the skill is in the Cavern Rogue. It's in the obvious things in Hearthstone, trying to complete your own objective, whilst also just not dying, because you don't complete much at all if you're dead.
Right. So, the other question is, how much value do you want to get out of this Firefly? I assume that if you're, you play the Firefly, you Shadow Step that, you play the Firefly again, and then you use the Flame Elementals, to complete the quest later.
And, I mean, this Hyena has to die or it's going to kill you. So it looks like the part where you hit it with the Ferryman is almost a given. Then it's a case of whether you want to hit it with your face or not to take 4, but 4 is a lot. See what he chooses to go with here. Obviously, when you have Life Coach and JJ on your team, your turns are very, very thorough. And Camlin's a thorough player as well, right?
That's true. That's true. If there is a turn where Germany do not rope, then I will be surprised.
Yeah. And
I mean, they've been roping since turn 1. They roped when they were trying to work out whether or not to play the quest.
I mean, there's a lot of teams have been roping a lot of the time.
That's true.
To make sure the team chat's going okay.
What I'm saying is, if this team does not rope, there is a problem.
Yeah, exactly. I agree entirely with you here. Interesting decision here, because the Grandmother isn't that menacing against a deck where the deck never presents you any minions to trade into. Whereas the Macaw could just draw you a good 3-drop off the top here.
It's true. It's true. Waning Moon really is holding on to that Jeweled Macaw. For a long time. He's weaving in his hero power here. I guess he's just weaving in his hero power as many times as possible. This board is difficult for Viper to get rid of, and Kill Command is still a thing. So damage is adding up.
Yeah, 18, no healing in the Rogue deck, almost certainly. And Kill Command in hand, Beast in hand, hero power, doing its hero powery stuff.
Yeah.
Rogue can win in 2 turns from when it completes the quest, like the turn and the next one is the accepted, I think. But the damage is coming in thick and fast here.
Now, Viper and Team Germany discussing whether they need to start putting a stop to this damage.
Right,
now.
so what do you Glacial Shard? Do you Glacial Shard the Grandmother so it can't trade itself in? Do you Glacial Shard the 2-1 because that's the most damage?
Do you trade into the Grandmother and Glacial Shard the Big Bad Wolf?
Right.
Probably not.
Probably, that might be the worst.
That's the plan? Right,
because your 2-1s don't have to be traded into. But yeah, make a big board and don't get hit by the shooty bit from the bat. Doesn't happen.
Oh dear. Just helping the Hunter's clock tick along. That's what Hunter is. It's the class with the clock. Tundra Rhino allows Waning Moon to trade in the Kindly Grandmother and then hit face the same turn with the Big Bad Wolf. Very, very strong.
If you don't play the Rhino, though, you do have your access to another hero power. Always a thing in mind. If you do play it, you have the option to not go face, just to make sure there's not too many 5/5s coming in at you. So even this turn, which is fairly obvious looking, not completely trivial. I agree with you. I think Kindly Grandmother's going to do a lot of damage here.
Yeah. Trades in, goes face, puts Viper down to 12, down to 10 if the Tundra Rhino goes face. Though, Waning Moon may be considering some trades here. Because if the quest did somehow get completed this turn,
Right.
though it's very unlikely.
Yeah, this is where you've got to work out clock versus clock. You're going to kill them in X turns. You've got to not die in that time. That's how the game works. But 5/5s change those numbers rapidly. And you've got to leave them with the exact right number of 5/5 options.
But you know what?
Make sure you win quickly.
The Philippines have concluded they don't win the game by playing around Germany completing the quest.
Right.
They win the game by putting their damage into Viper's face.
Yeah, they've got to do 3 damage on the board next turn, that's all. Because they've got 7 in their hand. McCall kill command and their hero power is the 6 mana needed to do 7 damage. Meanwhile, Germany can complete the quest.
Yeah, and activate it this turn. Thanks to preparation, Shadow Step and Elemental. Play it again. Preparation. Play the quest. Or play the quest reward. Sorry, play the Crystal Core.
Crystal Core.
And
Does Crystal Core cost 5 or 4?
5.
There we go. We're good. I thought it cost. They all cost 5 apart from the Warrior one, which costs 3 plus 2.
Yeah. Which, yeah, okay.
Okay.
And it looks like Philippines wins anyway.
Yes.
Oh,
No, they can still trade. Yeah, they can
there's
still
still a
trade.
trade to make, okay.
But they will lose next turn to another charge. Is this lethal? This
No,
is
it's
one-off
one
lethal.
off. So it's just a case of, does Viper pick up the damage he needs to win the game next turn? Or maybe, wait. Nah, Direwolf can't. I was going to say Direwolf could buff up the Tabby Cat. Tabby Cat could trade with the 5/2.
But then it takes another turn onto your.
Yeah,
puts another turn onto your clock. I think you play the dual McCall and see what you pick up personally. You might find something. I can't think what it would be.
You've wanted to see this Jewel McCall played all game, haven't you, Lorenzo?
Yes.
All game.
Let's see if I was right or wrong.
Oh, you were right, potentially. That's not a bad...
It's not, but does it help?
3 attack that it can give is 1 attack short of winning the game, and even then it's only a I don't... You know the stats.
Yeah, of course I do. I know all the things. I have no idea. Okay, so Viper, Germany are going to need to pick up a bounce spell or... Yeah, a bounce spell helps them bounce the ball, or a charge minion helps them charge.
That's it. That's all that...
They don't have the mana.
Oh, with preparation that would be enough, but preparation was just used up.
So they've got 26 damage, like you do. And they're dead on board. They can see that hero power kills them. Can they do anything with a 6 mana advantage with 6 mana? Doesn't seem like anything else works.
Where is the second preparation? Where is... Oh, well, he's used both Shadow Steps, so I guess... Oh, no, any Youthful Brewmaster, that would have been fine. Oh, dear. And Viper concedes, meaning that the Philippines take game number 1, Waning Moon.
Leading from the front. They are all 4 in the room. And yet, Waning Moon taking that first one down. They look very happy with this situation, as you would be when you've just taken a lead against one of the best countries in the world.
Yeah, Germany not looking so hot right now. They're already, I believe, 0-1.
They are, because someone had to lose between them and Ukraine.
Right, okay, so it wasn't like they had the easiest.
Right, yeah, they play against just Calento and co. Day 1.
And there you go. Next up is going to be Life Coach versus Chalk, both with their warriors.
Both with their warriors. Most likely, I would say, from Life Coach to be Quest Warrior. I would be fairly surprised if Life Coach was driving Pirates.
Meanwhile, though, Chalk has been creating a lot of interesting Pirate Warrior lists ever since he returned to Hearthstone after his long break a while back. So he's quite an innovator when it comes to that. I wouldn't be completely surprised if he was playing Pirate Warrior. Then again, that's not something you want to queue against Quest Warrior, so maybe that would have encouraged him to pick the other deck.
So Quest Warrior versus Quest Warrior is a thing that can happen. And
you really wanted to say Quest Warlock, didn't you?
I did. I want Quest Warlock to be a thing. It will be a thing. Trust me, people aren't working on it hard enough. They're not. They're really not.
Okay, life coach. Now I'm expecting the rest of the German players to be together.
Right.
I think this was what the situation was last time. I believe Viper was on his own. The other three were together at life coach's house.
That seems familiar. I wouldn't swear to it, but that does sound familiar.
So hopefully, I mean, it's always fun to see that. It's always fun to see life coach's very familiar setting. Austria also had the same background as well. Their team was also playing at life coach's place.
Why not?
As he does live
play
in
the whole
Austria.
tournament at life coach's place while we're at it. Why not?
Yeah, well, we should be casting from there. Maybe next time.
I like it here.
I do like it here too. Very Hearthstone-y. I like the map of Azeroth in the background.
Yeah, I like the fact we're not underwater being attacked by murlocs anymore. We have a massive tar minion looking through the window.
not on-
Pretty scary.
It's not on screen anymore, but yeah, it looks very cool. And here we go. So that doesn't look like life coach to me.
I don't know. I think they're beginning to sort of turn into the same person. We've seen them together so much.
That is Super JJ, which is almost life coach. Well, life coach's closest partner in the Hearthstone adventures.
Apart from wife coach, of course.
Apart from wife coach, who is playing for Austria. So actually, that could be a little bit competitive there.
Yeah, look forward. If that one happens,
Austria
I
versus
look
Germany.
forward to casting that one. And seems like we're just cutting out for a moment.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting for the game to begin. So, final predictions. You think Quest Warrior Mirror?
Quest Warrior Mirror, one of my least favourite matchups, and one of my least favourite things to say as well.
Apparently. Yeah, we've seen Sotil and Raven talking about what they think about the Quest Warrior Mirror over the last few weeks. We're not excited about the matchup either, though I don't think I detest it quite as much as they do.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff you can do. You can discuss how you want to play your dirty rat, but the answer tends to be you just play your dirty rat.
It's getting more interesting as the deck lists start to vary a little bit. Sometimes they run Deathwing, sometimes they run Armorsmith, sometimes they run Shield Block, sometimes they don't. Obviously, the list that's not built to beat Freeze Mage is better in the mirror.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because you're not wasting cards if
The
you like.
non-Armorsmith list.
So you get slightly more taunt going on.
The more aggressive, complete this quest as quickly.
Aggressive with my 2/7s. Have some of this.
Speaking of aggression, it's the wrong way around. What is going on here?
Oh, Pirate Coach versus Control Chalk.
Control Chalk.
Not quite sure what on earth is happening there. And really, I think Life Coach just got outguessed, outmaneuvered, out-somethinged here. Pretty hard. Like, we were convinced that Chalk was going to play an aggro. Well, not convinced. We thought they were both going to play Control, but we thought that Chalk might play an aggro deck. And it's looking like he's going to be into a really good start here. Obviously, it's important that he does not keep the quest in his opening hand. He will win the game if he gets control of the board and starts armoring up. He does not need to have a hero power that kills things that aren't there.
This is also, of course, a matchup where the anti-freeze mage build is fine. Like, you don't mind dropping an Armorsmith.
Sure, yeah.
Warrior. You don't mind having shield blocks and shield slams and things. Like, that's great. He's not going to want this execute so early. And as you say, he's definitely not going to want the... Oh, but he doesn't know that it's... Oh, of course. I'm being stupid. He expects a quest.
Of course, so I'm being stupid as well. We're not doing very well with these Fire Plumes hearts today, ladies and gentlemen. Do not adjust your sets. This is normal cards.
This person is definitely going to throw... Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay.
But you'd throw it against Druid, especially if it was Jade. Anyway, moving on to the game in progress, where one player has kept the quest expecting it not to be Pirates. It's Pirates, but he has the War Axe anyway. And one of the reasons you throw the quest is to make sure you have more chances at drawing this War Axe.
Yeah, definitely not a bad start, even in spite of keeping the quest, which perhaps ended up being wrong. Ali Armorsmith, also a fantastic card to have in the hand against Pirate Warrior. This card can single-handedly win the game, as long as they haven't developed too much of a board.
And even Stonehill Defender, yeah, the one damage it will do to the Cultist is relevant because of the War Axe. The one damage it will do to Patches is relevant because it kills it. And so overall, very relevant things going on here.
I mean, we've got a deck here that is completely based around dealing as much damage to the face as possible. And we have another deck which is completely focused around putting as many taunts on the board as possible. You could argue one of them just hard counts as the other one.
Yeah, putting taunts in the way of your face where they're trying to hit you in the face is definitely a thing.
Oh, these aren't good choices, though. Tarlord,
Tarlord's fine.
It's great if
you'll
you get
to
there.
turn 7.
You think you will?
He's got coin, so he can either coin the Armor Smith and buy time that way, or he can fiddle around next turn and then Tarlord after. So like execute-y, shield slammy type of stuff. Oh, that uses the coin.
Bloodhoof Brave, fantastic pickup here. Now he can develop a decent taunt without having to use the coin. He can go Brave into Ali Armorsmith into the Tarlord. So it does work out after. Tarlord ended up being a fine choice. Better than a 9-mana 5/5. Anyway.
And they can even afford to take 4 damage just getting rid of the Korkon Elite. But yeah, things are going to turn around a bit now. Arcanite Reaper is the card you want to get through this, and they've got it. But then next turn, gaining 4 armor from the Ali Armorsmith into that Tarlord is still going to be kind of close. Pirates outputs a surprising amount of damage at times.
Yeah, it is looking close. It's looking frustratingly close if you're Chalk right now, where you're playing the opposite deck that you usually play against your opponent who's playing the opposite deck to what you'd expect them to play. And you should be favored in this situation, but things aren't quite working out that straightforward. However, Shield Block and Shield Slam work very well together. Ali Armorsmith plus Shield Slam also work very well together. And these cards all work very well against aggro.
Just looking at Life Coach and JJ, just laughing their way through this. They're enjoying the spirit of this international competition, this festival of international Hearthstone that we're holding here.
The celebration of Hearthstone.
Celebration of Hearthstone. I like it.
Well, given how the board is right now, it's going to take at least 2 hits to kill this Ali Armorsmith. We can see there's a Heroic Strike in hand.
Right.
So probably it only takes the 1 hit from the weapon.
But then it eats up an extra 2 damage anyway in a funny sort of way,
Yeah.
because you have to overkill it.
It heals for, well, it's going to be healing for 9, 10, 11, actually, if you count the Arcanite Reaper and the Heroic Strike.
Yep. And if you do it any other way, it would still be 11, because you have to hit it twice. It'd be 7 plus the 2 2s, which is also 11. Next turn, Shield Block and Shield Slam is a thing that Chalk can do. He'll probably just want to coin out the Tarlord, but he's getting low on health, and one thing that he hasn't been able to do is to weave in his hero power. So
is Heroic Strike ever worth considering here? Because it means that the Ali Armorsmith only heals once, and also you hold onto the weapon so that you can use it with Bloodcell Cultist next turn and continue snowballing.
interesting.
I can only that's all I can think that they're considering right now.
See what they choose to go with here.
Oh. Okay, sure. That's a just slightly different way of doing it. The weapon sticks around, which
Right.
is vital.
Okay, whole chunk of damage. $11 health. Slam no good.
And with Tarlord, you have an extra 11 health.
You have an extra 11.
Pretty good when you look at it that way, just doubling
Okay,
out.
look at the other way. The pirates have 15 damage on the board. They can get through an 11 health minion exactly. So that's 3 damage that will go face. That's 8. It's close.
It's really close, because Primordial Drake usually looks good as well in this situation. So I was thinking maybe Shield Block, Shield Slam, plan on playing
yeah,
that next
don't
turn.
think it quite
but
gets you there.
It doesn't actually destroy any minion.
Job's done.
Right. So the Tarlord is going to deal with a lot of stuff, but there are pickups here that could win the game, I believe. Like Leroy, I think, wins the game. Perhaps it doesn't. Perhaps it's 2 off. It would be mana off, not damage off.
Right, yeah,
just to
yeah.
clarify. Frothing Berserker's pretty good if you're going to run minions into minions.
It's good. It's weak to Shield Block, Shield Slam, but as
Yeah.
far as Life Coach believes right now, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, Shield Block, Shield Slam plus Hero Power does start to put the Philippines back in this. Of course, Germany are under no pressure to attack at all if they don't want to. The Tarlord will only be a 1/11 in Chalk's turn.
That's true, but as the Pirate Warrior, can you afford to sit there and do nothing?
You don't want to, that is for sure. You really, really don't want to.
Life coach and JJ talking through. I'm sure Camlin and Viper are online as well,
Yep.
lending their helping hand, talking through every possibility. Looks like that is the play, Frothing Berserker and make the trades.
Yep. Seems like they didn't have much option but to do this. See if they go all the way. Choosing to keep up the taunt. Oh no, sorry, I thought they were keeping up the taunt there for a moment. Only just getting through, and now shield block, shield slam, hero power just starts to get the Philippines into this. And you see them all adjusting their clothes like, okay, we're ready.
Let's do this. So, sleep with the fishes, is that? So, nah, there's no convenient way of doing this. Like armor up, shield slam, slam, sleep with the fishes. No, that doesn't quite work.
Yeah, they're going through the thought process that you are.
Well, it does actually.
Well.
It works. It clears everything except the 1/1, but doesn't. And only gains you 2 armor. Hey, maybe that is the play. Maybe I've just talked myself into it. Like, you've just got enough mana. You've just got enough mana to fit all of that in.
Interesting to see where they go.
Are you safe at 10 health? Do you feel safe at 10 health? It's only a 1 attack.
No. Of course, Leroy. Well, Leroy's enough.
Leroy-
Maybe you do. Maybe
Yeah, Leroy on its own isn't enough. Leroy plus Heroic Strike would do it, but
you don't feel safe, but maybe that's your best chance.
I've gone from the start of this term thinking it was terrible to actually thinking it's the correct play.
Just watching Staz here, by the way, he seems like he's on you're an idiot duty, so he's not saying much and just very, very occasionally speaking.
Just saying, no. Don't
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
just the he just seems to be the one who's looking for the outsider plays. And yeah, they're going with this. Let's see if it's enough.
Whoa!
Okay.
I don't know about you, Neil, but I didn't expect that.
It does come in, you do see it from time to time, but it doesn't feel like a very life coach card. So, I have seen it in the occasional Pirate Warrior, but...
That said, I think Life Coach is one of the first players to bring Naga Corsair
Right.
to tournaments. And
Okay.
it's a very similar card.
Primordial Drake will just about stabilise here. Put them on an effective 15. They've got double shield block next turn after they've got rid of this stuff.
Drake looks good. Drake looks safe. Drake.
And they're just using their time. They made a bad mistake last time they played, using a sap to sap a minion. What looked like a really clever play, but it was such a telegraphed play that the other team says they're only going to do this if this situation occurs. And because of that, they hadn't thought it through. So they're taking their time to go, right, let's not do that thing.
Right.
And yeah, Philippines looking good for a 2-0 lead at the moment.
Yeah. Frothing Berserker. Frothing Berserker might stick, actually, which could be a problem for Philippines. They've got a few cards to draw this turn.
Right.
But if they can't actually get rid of the Frothing or pick up a good enough taunt to stick in its way...
I mean, there's loads of things. Like they've got double shield block to draw 2 cards. They only have to injure the Frothing
That's no
to
good.
be able to kill it. And the Frothing can't get buffed, because then if they don't have a minion to play, the Frothing can't be buffed.
That's no good either.
That's good next turn.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So 15 is safe against 7, in the same way that 10 was safe against whatever it was, 2, 1.
Right. Okay, sure. So, unfortunately, the Frothing Berserker does stick around. But as you say, 17 health, 5 damage on board, 6 with 7. Sorry,
Primordial
I forgot
Drake
about-
next turn with Execute coming down.
Yeah.
And that's going to get in the way of everything. I think we might even see, next turn just Germany concede here, because Primordial Drake into Execute and then just start armoring up is such a difficult problem. They may wait till they see the Q8 the turn after that.
Or that works too. I don't even know which is better. Sleep with the Fishes is probably less valuable when your opponent is only going to have 1 minion at a time. So I don't mind just dropping that. Either way, as you say, it's pretty much goodbye Life Coach.
Yeah, he's going to lose his game by the look of it. Viper's lost his game. Waning Moon and Chalk are going to have won their respective games. And winning the Battle of the Mind games as well. Hunter going up against Cavern Rogue, and then Control Warrior going up against Pirate Warrior.
Right, there's Leroy. A little bit too late. Going to get rid of the taunt minion at least, but...
And then they'll have to wait and see if there's another taunt, which we can see there is, but yeah, that's why they're carrying on.
Okay. The Curator, I think, would pretty much seal the deal here. Oh, going to play Direhorn Hatchling.
That does allow you to play Acolyte of Plane as well.
That's
if
true.
you do that.
That's true.
Oh, also,
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah, but you don't play it. You like your armor.
yeah.
If you're Chalk right now.
Chalk thought he'd messed up there, the same as I did briefly.
Oh,
So,
right.
oh no, we've completed the quest. I've lost my hero power. He's
Right,
exactly
right.
the same as me, and they were like, "No, don't worry, Chalk. You're good."
Still a new interaction. Sometimes, for a moment, we think funny things like that. Sometimes we burn quests. It can happen.
It's been known.
It has happened.
Sometimes Pyroblast appears in Priest.
Sometimes, pretty often, actually, Bioblast appears in Priest. But most importantly, Chalk picks up game number 2 for the Philippines. Live coaching JJ.
Looking a bit more serious now.
Yeah, they look a little bit as though they don't fully comprehend what just happened.
Yeah, we're live coaching JJ. Looks like JJ is going to shuffle into the seat, so he's next in line.
Must be JJ up next, yeah.
2-0.
Wow, scary situation. Camelan might not even get to play today. Germany are not going to want this. We talked before about how they faced Ukraine.
Right.
One of the best teams. It's fair to say one of the best, objectively one of the
Yeah,
best.
nobody's going to argue with
in
that. Well,
Hearthstone.
somebody will. Someone guy on Twitch chat who's arguing with that. Shut up.
Objectively one of the top teams in the Hearthstone Global Games. So the fact that Germany lost that, it's not the end of the world for them. But losing against the Philippines immediately after and losing 3-0, which could happen, that would be devastating for Germany. And as you can see, we've got JJ's Priest up against Karakute's Paladin next.
Another long one coming up, and hard to know what to make of this matchup from what we've seen. We saw the weird Priest struggle, but again, it just depends on exactly the build. I'm sorry to keep saying that. It sounds really much of a, hey, let's just sit on the fence and not get it
The
bombed.
Priests have been so different.
The Paladins and the Priests can just be anything, although we have just seen constant mid-range Paladins,
Yeah,
to be fair.
the Paladins have been surprisingly similar, especially given how prevalent the Murloc aggressive builds have been recently. But Priests, Dragon Priest, Priest with Free from Amber, Priest with mostly classic cards like Injured Blade Master.
Classic card Priest.
Then again, how successful have the Priests been today? The first Dragon Priest beat the Freeze Mage.
Yeah, the others looked like winning. I'm sure one of them won.
I know that 2 of them lost. So...
I could go through my notes, but it would take about a week. So.
Oh no, one of them won. The one with Medivh. No, also lost. Yeah, okay. No, Priests have not had a good performance today. I'm remembering now because the guys that brought 2 Medivh decks, I believe, they lost the whole thing. Singapore? Singapore.
We got there.
Singapore.
Believe in Medivh.
Believe in Medivh, but they lost.
To believe harder.
Anyways, Priest versus Paladin. I don't know that we've seen the specific matchup, or not much of it anyway. The last series was
Right,
this
and
matchup.
this is the one where the Blade Master just couldn't do it. This is a Grimscale Chum though. This is the faster version of Paladin. By faster, I mean all out in your face.
Yeah, this will be the first that we've seen. The other cards look very similar. We've seen a few of those today, but as we can see, or as we're about to see, when Karakute mulligans away, I'm sure she will mulligan away, Consecration, True Silver Champion, we'll see some 2-mana Murlocs, some more 1-mana Murlocs, some more 1-mana Murlocs.
And they have chosen to go with Consecration. That is something worth noting. It'd be interesting to see if they're playing 1 or if they're playing 2.
As you said earlier today, it's good in the mirror. So it's just a strong card, isn't it? It also does deal face damage.
And that improves their chance of getting a 1, 2, 3, 4 significantly. They've got 2 draws to find. There it is.
Okay.
2 drop.
So ideally, this buffs up the Bluegill Warrior in hand so that you're not putting a 2-1 on the board next turn. Unfortunately, it hit the War Leader. Then again, buffing up your Murloc War Leader, your minion that does not want to be killed, up to a 4-4 against a Priest, probably not that bad.
Light Seer off the top, so one of these guys would survive, except the potion's going to kill them both, most likely.
Yeah, that is a brutal-looking Potion of Madness, and there's not really much Karakute can do about it.
No, you can't just suddenly stop playing Hearthstone in case they've got a Potion of Madness. You just have to play it out there and accept what is coming. And I think what is coming is a really good value Potion of Madness. Obviously, it means you waste some mana if you're JJ, unless you want to play the Shadow, but let's just clear the board. Seems good.
Okay, a second Murloc War Leader, which is great and bad. It's bad because if you play both, then you lose the fact that one of your War Leaders is for attack. But it's good because...
Remember this one got buffed, though, to anti-priest shape.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing, if it gets buffed again, it's weak to death. But it's good because having 2 War Leaders on the board is very, very strong. And actually, the second War Leader would allow this first War Leader to destroy the Talon Priest.
See if that reasonably obvious looking play goes ahead. Don't see why it wouldn't, especially now.
Oh, okay. That's what you want. And there's no Shadow or Death in JJ's hand just yet.
And now they've got to decide, do you even want to destroy the Talon Priest? I mean, I think you do, but 6 to the face is a lot, but it's challenging your 6-3, and so you have to remove it.
And as you have Cold Light Seer in the hand, that card could just seal the deal next turn, and I think it will. I think we're already at this stage in the game where it buffs this War Leader to a 6-7. A 6-7 Murloc War Leader. How do you beat this?
I don't know. We had it looking through our window for several days here, and we couldn't get rid of it.
Mean Street Marshal, Don Hancho, or Consecration. That's a really hard one.
Yeah, which of these cards start in your deck? Not which one would you like to pick, as somebody has possibly been known to do before. And this just looks like game. What can Super JJ get to go with his Consecration that will help clear up this invasion squad of Murlocs?
Is a quality good enough? Yeah, a quality Consecration would do it, although he doesn't have enough mana.
Yeah, and he has to get the equality somehow.
A quality Pyromancer would not have been enough, funnily enough.
Which is terrifying.
Because the War Leaders would mean that at 1 health, the Murlocs will have 2 health, so... Right.
Well, if the Philippines do take this down, that will make APAC 2-2 in these first 4 matches.
Wow.
Yeah, weak region, what?
Okay, well, I mean...
It's not over yet,
it's 50-50.
But it's looking that way. 50-50 with Europe.
With Europe.
Who are obviously the best region.
I think we need to be a little bit careful about that one nowadays.
Okay. They're fairly obviously, probably, likely, much better than all the other regions. But yeah, looking like they're almost, Germans are actually laughing about this. Like, what are we supposed to do about this?
Feast of the Feast, Binding Heal.
Who needs 5/5 rogue quests when you can have 6/6 Murlocs on turn 5? Not the Philippines is the answer to that one.
So, I queued up against Sottle on the ladder a couple days ago. We were both playing Murloc decks like this. I didn't get a 1-drop. He did. His board ended up looking something like this at around turn.
Yeah, he always was lucky, that Stottle bloke.
So, it happens. And when it happens, it's just unstoppable.
Yeah, and the celebration there from the Philippines atoned for last week in style, beating one of the best nations in the world, 3-0. The Philippines are here, guys, and they're here to stay.
They are. 4th player didn't even get to play. It was Staz, right? Staz this time.
Staz, just casually don't have Staz play while you beat Germany. You don't need Staz. What's Staz ever done apart from just won a massive tournament?
Realistically, he played every game with his team.
Sure,
these players, we could see, been communicating together very, very well. We didn't see Camlin, but I'm sure he was there communicating with Life Coach and JJ and Viper, all via headsets or speakers or whatever. But there you go.
Pew, pew, pew. 3-0 Philippines.
Job done.
And I'm not biased, but the Philippines is a region that is really sort of close to my casting career over time, so I'm really happy to see them get it done. I'm not happy to see Germany lose, though. Germany's a team I would like to do really well in this competition. If they're going to, they need to start winning some matches.
It's a very hard group. It's a really hard group. Hopefully we should get shown the group again in just a moment, but I don't recall how many wins Germany got against Ukraine.
It was 3-2. It was 3-2 to Ukraine.
Oh, right, okay.
And the other match in that group, the Czech Republic, won 3-2.
So Germany not quite 0-6 in game record.
No, they got the 2-3 out of that one.
But before we knew the groups,
there
we go. Before we knew the groups, just knowing who the countries were, you never ever expected Germany to be one of the teams that go 0 wins and 2 losses.
And they might be the only team who have played on 0 and 2 in a minute, or 0 wins in a minute, because we're going to see the Czech Republic take on Croatia in our next match of the day. So Group H will really start to form.
Finishing up with Group H seems like a pretty good bet.
It's a pretty good group. Yeah, so there'll be a lot on the line for that. As I say, this group is really starting to take shape now. But the Philippines are bang in that mix. 3 teams go through to the next phase, and they're in the middle.
Okay, well, we are about to do Croatia versus the Czech Republic, but we're going to take a very short break first. We'll be right back in just a moment.
We're almost there. Quiet down, everyone. This is not like any of our previous expeditions. This will be far more ambitious. We're stepping into a land of primordial wonder. Infused with astonishing elemental energies. The plant life here holds very unusual properties. So don't touch anything. And while you may be excited to see the local fauna, you might want to make sure they don't see you. Because their powers of adaptation are devastating. Make no mistake, we will be tested at every turn. But if we stay on our guard, we might just survive. Now then, are you ready? Then let's journey into Ongoro Crater.